I will be forever the myth.
You're the king of kings,
There's always a pecking order. The little packers never mess with the big packers. So I'm a rooster, and he's a chicken, so to speak.
All right, welcome back to the Bodybuilding Legends podcast. I have two of my good friends here from the Chicago area. First, we've got Larry Bernstein, who was one of the top bodybuilders in the 1980s. He won the 1983 short class at the Mr. America contest, and then the 1985 Mr. World contest. And I've got Dave DeYoung here. Dave was one of the owners of Quads Gym, which was one of the biggest hardcore bodybuilding gyms in the Chicago area, and he saw some real legends go through that gym throughout the years. So welcome to the show, guys.
How you doing?
Hey, John. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we had Ed Connors and Tim Kimber on a couple months ago, and they were talking about Gold's Gym and when they took it over and stuff. So I thought it'd be fun to have Dave on and talk about Quads Gym, because Quads Gym during its time was one of the greatest gyms pretty much in the country, right, Dave?
Well, I mean, it's like I don't really, I'm not a bragger. I've never been a bragger, but we get recognized by a lot of people. Remember Sean Perrin? He passed away.
Yeah.
Much development and. Flex Magazine and Generation Iron and bodybuilding.com and stuff like that. Ron Partlow, he came and visited us, and John Meadows came and visited us about the best gyms and stuff.
Right.
So I feel blessed that I got recognized by a lot of people, which feels good. That your hard work is going somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. But,
how did you get it started, Dave? Tell me this. How Quad started.
Me and Tom played pro football, and so he was in college, and when he got out of college, we were both athletes. I played some semi-pro baseball, and he played, we played semi-pro football together, and then he got recognized and got picked up by the Denver Broncos and then the Washington Redskins. So we had a lift just to keep up with everybody else, So we were in the basement first, and so we kind of wrecked all his mom's ceiling tiles and floor tiles, and and she kind of and we had music on, and it was kind of loud, and she, Tom's mom raised him because Tom's dad died when Tom was younger, and so. Okay. Me and Tom, we lived a half block away from each other. We grew up in a sandbox together.
Oh wow!
So we lived, we lived right in Dalton. I lived right on Sibley Boulevard, and so did he. And so his mom. This is
Tom Milanovich, for those that don't know. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So so we were in a basement, and then his mom, nicely said to us, "I think you guys ought to find a different place." And so we looked around, and we found we had two gyms in Thornton. One was for 6 years, and it was only 3,800 square feet. And then what we did is we moved about a block down, or half a block, and it was like over 10,000 square feet. So we tripled our size.
Wow.
And I don't know. I think, Larry, did you go to both gyms? I think you
did. I did. Sure. I was gonna ask, what year was that first one? Because I remember. I think I might have started there. I'm not sure how soon after you guys opened, because I saw the whole growth. It was incredible.
Well, we were in the basement in the beginning of the 70s, but as we graduated from high school, and then, and then Tommy went to college, and then after that, he went off to the pros. So we opened that in Thornton in 1976.
Okay.
So, and then we were in Thornton for 12 years, and then we bought the building in Calumet City on Torrance Avenue. So.
Okay. Yeah, I always remember Quads because I lived more and I lived in Worth, so I was a little bit far from you guys.
Hammers.
Yeah, Hammers.
Yeah.
But whenever I would go visit, we had to drive past those quarries.
Oh, yeah, buddy. Larry will tell you about probably 3:30, 4 o'clock. They blasted, and the whole gym shook.
Oh,
down
really?
in the 40s. Yeah, so we knew it was coming every day, you know.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow. I didn't know that. Yeah.
the whole gym would shake, you know.
So how old were you, Larry, when you started there?
Well, that's what's funny. I was going to Davey. You might remember the gym in Chicago Heights.
Yeah.
Just getting into lifting. I was like 17 maybe. And a friend of mine said, Larry, there's this gym in Thornton called Quads. He goes, you might want to check it out. Because I hadn't heard about someone over and checked it out. And that's, met Davey, Tommy. I was home.
You were a teenager though, right? You were
Pardon?
You were a teenager, right? When you started?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Matter of fact, I'm not even sure I think they talked me into a teenage show that I did terrible in. And I was thinking back over the years, was I your guinea pig, Davey? Did you guys have anyone compete?
Oh, I tell you,
he doesn't know better.
I could tell you a little story about Larry. We went to the first show and we're driving home and he got like 13th place or something. And he said, I don't really think this bodybuilding's for me. And I said, well, what are you, a quitter? He goes, well, I play hockey and, I said, Larry, we just got to get your legs better. That's all. And you know what? And I think you'll do real well, but don't quit because you're too good.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I have a list of right here that I wrote. And John, you would know a lot of these guys.
Excellent.
I got about 40 guys on here that I can name their names.
Wow, that's great.
The top of the list is Larry Bernstein. So,
yeah.
And I can tell you all of them. If you want me to read them off, you would
know.
Yeah,
we'll get to that for sure.
Yeah.
He's too humble, John. You know that. He's too humble.
Yeah.
With him and Tommy, Quads became what it did. So you gotta admit some of that. Because you go in there and you felt like family, and no one left.
Yeah.
No one left.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I was thinking myself how I just remember a ton of people coming to Quads for the intensity and the atmosphere and all that. And I mean, I went to Hammers once or twice. I just remember more people coming there though than I remember like us ever going somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I might be a little biased.
Right.
Hey, John, just recently, Dave Picars came and visited me.
No kidding.
Gym.
Wow.
Yeah, well, his son was working out there up north. And so he came in and I really didn't recognize him at first. And he goes, Dave, I go, yeah. And then the more he talked, then I recognized it.
Yeah.
His voice. And
how's he doing?
He's doing good. I think he was, if I'm mistaken, I think he was working like construction or something. I'm not sure.
Still, wow. God, it's been decades since I've seen Dave.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the name Quads?
Well, when we were in the basement, we had 4 guys in there that were just friends, and they we had Marty Gadati, and he built brand new homes. He was a bricklayer.
Okay.
And so he was a baseball player, a really good baseball player, but he was in high school. But he played semi-pro too. But he wanted to gain a little bit of weight, and so we put a lot of weight on him, and then we also had Dave Spigelone. So we had the 4 of us. So it was Quads, 4 guys. We had Tommy,
that makes
Dave
sense.
Spigelone, and Marty.
Yeah.
But it was really like a muscle in your leg, and so it kind of just stuck. The name, it's synonymous now. I mean, it's just what it is, But
yeah, it's a cool name.
Remember there was a gym, John, called Delts. Remember?
Yeah, before Hammers.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. So you had different body parts, and
Right. They probably stole that idea from you. So was Tom still there, or you said he played pro football? So when you guys opened the gym, was he there, or did he go away to play?
Well, he was there a lot, but then he would have to leave when like when training camp started.
Yeah.
And he played on some pretty good teams, but he had a lot of injuries. He had like 12 knee operations, and so he had cruciate problems and and different things. Plus his acting career, he really he tore his bicep in Natural Born Killers, and he broke 3 ribs, and Above the Law, Steven Seagal kicked him in the ribs, and he came back with his tape around his ribs. And
stop this motherfucker! He's crazy. Where's my piece? He ain't nothing. Take him out. This motherfucker's crazy.
But so he was there a lot of the time when he was home. But I mean, sometimes he wasn't home. So I had to kind of, but we had, we both had jobs because the gym didn't make enough money. So he worked at a place called Marmon Keystone, which was a steel plant. And I worked construction. And so we that's how we lived. And we both lived at home at the time.
Mhm.
We were in our early 20s, so he lived with the money he made in the gym. We just kept putting it back into the gym, buying more and more equipment.
Right.
And that's how we kind of survived, switches. So
Didn't you work at White's Pit Stop too, Davey?
I worked at White's Pit Stop too. I worked there for many years.
Remember
and then
that?
after that, it was construction.
You're always telling me, take care of my car, change the oil. It's going to run forever. I just remember.
Yeah.
So Larry, when you first joined the gym, what did you like about it? I mean, it was obviously a hardcore gym, but what was appealing to you, like compared to the other gym you went to?
Oh yeah, the gym was a powerlifting gym, and they were quite a bit older. I mean,
Okay.
it didn't seem like. I mean, it was good atmosphere. It was hardcore, but it didn't seem like they took as much interest in me personally, or maybe others. But like Davey and Tommy, everyone who came in there, he just talked to me. He goes, "Dude, you got potential," and he just push you and they coach you, and it was all about you. It wasn't like about the place, and that's what made the place better. And I remember back at I think it was the second gym, Davey, you had a plaque on the wall for like a 300-pound bench club. Do you remember that?
400 and 500.
Yeah, see that? I mean, who was doing stuff like that? He was always promoting. So
right,
there, you wanted to get on the board, and if you got on the board, then you used to have like a lifter of the month. Remember that, Davey?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did that.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh yeah, all types. And I remember the construction guy with an R, Rim.
Yeah, he passed.
I'm sure because he was older when I started.
Yeah.
Didn't know the guy. He came up to me. I remember he showed me how to do behind the head triceps, and he goes, you can be, just people helping over there.
Yeah. So a lot of people recognize your potential. Then it sounds like when you were younger.
Yeah. I didn't, of course.
Yeah.
You never do yourself.
Oh, Larry, there wasn't even. I mean, there was nobody close. This list has got a lot of great bodybuilders that I got next to me, right?
Yeah.
Larry by far went the farthest.
Maybe he's too. Hey, you like my jacket, Davey?
What's that?
There you go. My jacket, buddy?
How about this one?
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. So, but Larry, he went on to, he won everything in Illinois that you can possibly win.
Right.
Okay. And then he went on to bigger and better things. And to be honest with you, he just was very humble. And he was, what person will say that, like the first show he went in, like those guys are so much better than me. And I said, Larry, I know, like a lot of those guys competed more than one time. This is the first time, Larry. I go, we got to go back to the drawing board. We got to go back and get your legs bigger.
Yeah.
He got his legs, and his legs were some of his strong points.
They were,
He had good calves, he had good hamstrings, he had it all. He had the whole package.
Yeah.
That's the type of interest. That's the type of interest you put into the place. You didn't know me until I showed up there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it was like Larry said, it was a family, everybody was so close knit, and so, and everybody was very helpful, and, we were always, showing you different movements and different things. And, and that's what made us so, if I had to pick out one thing that what made me happy being in this business is that all the great people I met and all the great members that I had.
Yeah.
I can tell you a real cool story real quick.
Sure.
So when we moved from Thornton, Illinois to Calumet City, we kept the gym open, but we only had select amount of equipment. We didn't have all our dumbbells over there. We had, a set of dumbbells, but not like we used to have like 4 or 5 sets of dumbbells,
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we bought Calumet City, but that place was very run down, but it needed work. Okay. So every night we would leave the other gym in Thornton open for a while so people could still lift if they wanted to. Because, some people were still members and they would otherwise get mad and, can't work out. But everybody was in Calumet City working. All these people would come over there after their regular 9 to 5 jobs and be over there until 12 o'clock at night, giving up their time. painting and hanging mirrors and,
Wow.
we're
That's great.
chipping floor tiles off the tiles. I'd get everybody together in a big circle and I'd say, well, what do you guys want to eat tonight? They would say, how about pizza? I go, okay. So I would go order tons of pizzas. Okay. The next night, how about some beef sandwiches? I go, okay. So then it wasn't no delivery in those days. I'd get a go to the place and get, some beef sandwiches or whatever they wanted.
Wow.
And, none of them got paid, but they were such great people.
Yeah.
They gave of their time, and that's what made that place so unique,
I know. Yeah. We talk about that on this podcast all the time about how things have changed, but that's what's really a big difference about the gyms is now you got these huge corporate gyms. The owners are usually just managers of the corporation. They have no idea who the members are. They don't care. It's all about, the membership fees and stuff. Where back then it was owners like you, Dave, you own the gym yourself. And then the members were invested and everybody was like a family, like you said, Larry, it's like you guys were all doing it together,
Yeah. Yeah. There was, it was just a special group of guys and women, girls too, like Patty, he knows Patty Meyer.
Yeah.
Remember Larry Patty Meyer?
Yep.
It's super nice.
Very
people,
cool. Yeah.
Just wonderful people. And, me and Tom, God rest his soul, but we were so indebted to those people because they all came over there and helped us out. And then once we got open, they all said, this place looks too good. I don't want to drop a weight or something. Everything is so, was so like all fixed up and nice when we opened up. Because we were there for like 4 months and we weren't open only in Thornton, Illinois, So,
So how many years were you in Thornton?
12.
12. Okay. So you started in 76 until 88.
Yeah. And then the gym up north, I've been there since 1988. So I've been there like 34 years.
Oh, okay. Wow.
In Chicago on Broadway between like Grace and Waveland.
Oh, I didn't realize you owned it that long. I didn't realize it was around that long.
That gym there has been there a long time.
Wow. No kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
And when did the one in Calumet City close down?
Well, when Tommy died, he died in 2003, I think it was.
Okay.
And then I didn't really even have it for sale, but I was, everybody was coming up to me because I was very sad. And, and they were saying, are you selling this place? I go, why? Well, you don't have any drinks in the coolers. You look like you're very, like you're not smiling, and you don't have any bars on the counter and any protein bars, you don't have all your clothes out and all that stuff, And I said, well, I lost the bounce in my step. It's when you lose your very best friend, it's really unbelievable. I could tell you a little story too that was really, really, really cool.
Okay.
So, so the night that Tom died, it was like 3 a.m. Well, one of my daughters, Hannah, we would always put her to bed about. Tom was a godfather of Hannah and Katie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm divorced, so Katie lives with me now. Hannah lives with her mom. Okay, well, we put Hannah in the crib, and she would sleep through the whole night. So at 3 a.m, Tom's Micheline called me, his wife, and at this very exact time that the phone rang, Katie or Hannah started crying.
Wow.
Like he was saying goodbye to her.
Yeah.
It was, and I told Lambert from Powerlifting USA that same thing. Because he wanted to recognize Tommy in Powerlifting USA magazine.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen that picture with me and Bill Kazmaier and Tommy in there.
No.
That was, Lambert had put that in there.
Okay.
And he said, can you tell me like one cool story about Tom? I said, well, I don't know if you believe in God like I believe in God, but this actually happened. And then, that day was, I don't know why, but I went to the gym because I couldn't stay at home because I just wanted to stare at 4 walls.
Mm-hmm.
My ear was glued to that phone. Everybody was calling from all over the country.
Oh man.
And I heard that Tom died. Is that true? And I go, yeah. And then I had to relive it all over again. And talking to everybody about it. And I was crying. I was crying the whole day. I mean, it was absolutely grueling.
Wow.
And,
what did he pass from, Dave?
he had an enlarged heart, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he had a they put a pig's valve in his heart, and
Oh, okay.
it wasn't really taken to his body, and then his other organs started shutting down, and
Oh,
he
man.
died in Palos Hospital. That's where he died.
How old was he when he passed?
He was exactly 49. He was 3 weeks shy of his 50th birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. So
was he kind of sick for a while? He didn't die just suddenly, right? I mean,
no. He had got the valve, and then I thought he was getting better, and I don't know. He just seemed like he was getting worse. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And so then, we had like 28% of Nebula. We owed part of Nebula. Okay. Well, it was actually mostly Tommy's money, but, so when he died, we wanted to give his widow that money to raise those two little boys, Zach and Ben.
Yeah.
So we had got the money from Tom Eilerman, and then he gave it to her, so.
Okay.
It was, I don't know, I went through a lot in those days. I mean, divorce, and I had a lawsuit in the gym, and a girl said she got hurt on a glute ham, and then my daughter Katie, who just set the computer up for me, we thought she had leukemia, and it wasn't. She was in the hospital for about a week. And it was a thing called ITP, which is where your blood platelets go real low. She came home from school. She was about 8 years old, and she had black and blue marks all over her whole body. And, I got really scared. And so my friend, Dr. Casas, I called him and said to him, I don't know what's going on with Katie. He goes, well, send me some pictures. So I sent him pictures. He said, bring her right to the emergency room right away at my hospital where I work at St. Francis in Evanston. So I brought her over there. They really couldn't do as much as they could do at Children's Lurie's, because that's a cancer hospital,
Yeah.
So they took her in an ambulance because they didn't want her bumping around into the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they took her in an ambulance, strapped her in there, and brought her down there. She was in the hospital close to a week, and then they found out later on it was ITP, and so they found out it was something different. But thank the good Lord that it wasn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
A week, right?
Yeah. So
for those that don't know Tom, he was like you said, he played professional football, and then he got into movies, and this was in like the 1980s, right? When the action movies were coming around, like Steven Seagal and Chuck Norris.
Yeah, and he was also in like other movies.
I was actually in the first movie. Tommy and we auditioned for the first movie together.
Oh, really?
It was The Toughest Man in the World with Mr. T, filmed in Chicago.
Yes.
Wow. I got a little bit part as one of the competitors. They had like an obstacle course, but Tommy got the main part opposite Mr. T as Tanker Weems.
Yep.
And funny enough, we were talking about it. I watched it for the first time. I never watched the thing. I don't know why. We just got busy.
Yeah.
And it's pretty funny. It's really funny. But
what year was that, Larry?
I think it was 84.
Okay.
It was in 83 or 4. Because I remember I was doing something else. I came back to do it, and then I went back to where I was. But you're talking about Tommy. Tommy was a jokester, right, Davey?
Yeah, no doubt about it.
He was because Davey, Davey's always, he's so good, and Tommy's always joking around. I remember getting ready for a contest. It might have been the America, I don't know. He's standing next to me in the old quads with a big old Burger King Whopper while I'm training. He's, hey, how's your diet going, Larry? How's it going? You want to bite? That was like Tommy, right?
Yeah. Well, you know what? He one thing, no pun intended, but he had a big heart.
Oh yeah.
He would give you the shirt off his back.
Oh, both of you guys. Both.
Yeah. Well, I could tell you stories about Tommy where he took care of so many. Like Tony Lala had a bad knee. Tommy paid for the whole knee operation. He just was that type of guy. He was just, he had a heart of gold, and he was a good, gone too quickly.
Way too young.
Yeah.
But he was a big guy. For those that never saw him, he was how tall was he? He was like
6'5". The most he ever weighed was about over 300. He He played at 285. What made him kind of unique is that not only was he really strong, a 550 bencher, but he at 285 he ran a 4.540.
Wow. Okay.
And so he was really quick. And matter of fact, we went to Homewood Flossmoor. They have Larry knows this. They have like a dome or whatever there where you can go in there if you live in Homewood or something, and you get play volleyball. And they have like a tartan surface where you can run in there. And we snuck in there because Tommy was trying to run 40s in there, and it was winter.
Yeah.
So we went in there, and there's these track kids there, and they said, "Hey, would you mind if we could run with you?" And they didn't see Tommy run yet, right? So I was, I had a stopwatch and I was checking his times, right? And Tom says, "Sure, no problem." So they ran against him. They were like, buck 20, buck 50. They weighed nothing,
Yeah.
Tommy was double their weight, And they saw how fast he was, and they looked at me and they looked at him, and they go, are you for real? They couldn't believe it. They were like freaked out,
Right.
And he was that's how I think he made it in the pros, because of his quickness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And he was a good bad guy in the movies because he was so intimidating. So tall,
yeah, he was. And he was in also some funny movies, like he was in Pee-wee's Big Top, and
Oh, okay.
he was in like Groundhog Day, and he was in what else was he in?
He was in Groundhog Day with Bill Murray?
Yeah, but he was that he had a very small part.
Okay, yeah.
No,
Yeah, but he was in some of his bigger parts. He played Hedo, and he was in it was called The Rookie. It was at Cubs Park. It was filmed at Cubs Park. So I would get off at 10 o'clock at the gym, and I'd go over there, and I'd bang on his trailer door. Each guy had their own trailer outside.
Right.
And I would bang on his door. He'd be in there sleeping waiting for his next, scene or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'd go in there and sit in there with him for a while. And he'd always say to me, "Hey, go over to McDonald's, get me something to eat, will you?" There was McDonald's right over there by Wrigley Field. So I'd go over and get him something to eat because he was starving.
Right.
They feed us here, but they don't feed us enough,
Yeah, right. Not for him.
Not a 280 pounder. Yeah.
What's that?
They filmed a lot of movies in Chicago in the 80s. You look back at a lot of those.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you know what? Tommy had told me that it was really starting to get real expensive to film movies in Chicago. So what they did is they started filming them in Toronto and then making it like Chicago, because it kind of looks a little bit like Chicago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the car plates would be like Illinois plates. And,
right.
So he really, I don't know if he went there very much, but he said that when times were a little bad, he said they're not doing a lot of filming at this point in time because of that, because they were charging too much to use, either a building in Chicago or the streets in Chicago or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's why they don't film anymore in Chicago, because it's just too, I think that they go to where they get the tax breaks, I think,
Yeah, exactly.
Davey, didn't he bring a lot of celebrities in the quads with him?
Oh yeah, he brought tons of them. He brought in Gary Busey. He brought it just a lot of different people brought in the gym that were his friends. That he got to know over the years. You know what I mean? Dennis Farina. Guys like that.
Oh yeah, he was great.
So,
he was a Chicago guy.
That's just to name a few, but there was a lot more than that.
Yeah.
That's the other.
Do you remember the movie The Fugitive?
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay, that was Tommy Lee Jones. But remember the guy it was a guy that was with him there, that a little guy with the glasses. He was like his right-hand man. I can't think of the guy's name, but he was in that movie.
Joey Pantoliano, right?
Yeah, that's he.
John, nice.
He worked out by us. Yeah.
He was in The Sopranos too. Yeah.
That was the other thing about quads. You go in there even today. Anyone who's anyone, pictures are all over the wall, right? It's a museum.
We got I think we got about 1,000 pictures on the wall.
Oh yeah, I mean, that's what made you feel good. If you did decent in the show, Davey, put your picture up. Someone comes in one time to train, like Kinnear or King, or you go, hey, can you autograph a picture, and you put it up there, and just it's got that old school feel, and it's so awesome.
Yeah. I remember when Jeff King was staying at your house, and you brought him in for like a week. Yeah. As big as his neck was, he had neck problems.
Yeah, I know.
Larry would tell you that he would take this apparatus and put it on his head and sit underneath a lap machine, and he would stretch his neck. The whole weight stack would stretch his neck out.
Wow.
He had a neck that was so big.
Right.
You never think that guy would have neck problems. You know?
Yeah, right. Wow.
But he was a really nice guy too.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've had him on.
You know what? I was at the Mr. America when Pete Miller won.
Yeah.
And so I was in the pump up room with Pete, and I look across the way and I see somebody, and he's got a ponytail and he looks really skinny and thin. And it was Jeff King, because his brother was in the contest that day.
Oh, okay.
Jeff's brother was competing in the Mr. America.
Yeah.
And I walked over. I said, "Jeff?" He said, "Dave?" I go, "Yeah." So he started talking, and he was, he just. I tell you what, there's two guys I think could have really went, even Larry too. The three of them could have went really far, in bodybuilding, but they just didn't want to continue doing things that they didn't need to do.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Pete Miller, Jeff King, and Larry. And I think they chose the right choice because they, who knows, they could not be here today.
Just to say, we're still alive.
Upstairs, all the pictures on the walls that people have been in the gym. There's 50 people up there on those walls that are dead right now that came in my gym.
Yeah.
From Vinny Comerford to Nasser El Sambadi to Benaziza to Andreas Munzer to everybody. And they're all passed away. And I'm so glad that everybody, my friends are still around, like yourself and Larry, and different people are still around. So.
Yeah. Where was that America that Pete Miller won? Where was that?
Where was that held again? I can't remember.
It was in
Dallas.
Dallas.
At the there was in I think western suburbs maybe. Was it like in Rosemont? I can't remember.
Oh, it was in Chicago?
It was in Chicago, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was in Chicago.
Wow.
I went to quite a few Mr. Americas in my life.
Yeah.
I seen Larry in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
That was 82 when I lost the thing.
I seen Worcester. Yeah, I went to the Mr. America at the Fox Theater in Atlanta when Ray Menser won. I was there with Mario Neves. Me and Mario were together.
Yeah.
I went to America. You remember when they had all the elephants with all the guys on the elephants? Yeah, I was there at that.
Wow.
That was incredible. That was it was at the Santa Monica Civic Auditorium, so they had this big patio next to it.
Okay.
And there must have been like 300 people on this patio. The contest didn't start yet. It was a night show.
Okay.
And so it was like 6 o'clock. And everywhere you turned was somebody that you had known when you were a kid. Or looked over here, here's Dale Adrian.
Yeah.
Look over here, and here's George Eifferman. Over here's Chet Yorton.
Wow.
Over here's Lou Ferrigno. Over here, back behind me is Dave Draper. They're all there. And I was like, my head was like on a swivel. It was like, recognizing all these guys.
Yeah. 77.
It was absolutely awesome. And then they had this huge parade that went down Pacific Coast Highway.
Right.
And they had like UCLA's band, USC's band.
Yeah.
They shut the whole road. They had all these elephants and Kenny Waller and all these guys on elephants and stuff. It was Dave Dupree and all those guys.
Bill Grant. Yeah.
Bill Grant. Yeah, it was very cool.
Wow. So when did they did the parade during the day then, and then they had the show at night?
They did the parade
or the day before.
I think it was like in the morning, was it morning? Saturday maybe, or maybe it was Friday. I can't remember. You got to realize that was that year. Dave Johns won.
Yeah.
And then the one that Larry was in Boston or Worcester. That was Rufus Howard won that year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
John, he's pretty good.
Yeah. He's got really
money, buddy.
Well, I really don't have all the. I have a really good memory one day because I'm 70 now, and then sometimes
Dave, you look great.
Then I can't remember anything, John. You know what I mean? Like, so I have my moments, put it that way. My senior moments,
You got to tell him that story, Davey. You told me when you went to California with the camera and the guy let you take the pictures and.
Oh yeah.
What's that one? This is awesome story.
John, do you remember when they did a photo shoot with Louis and Danny Padilla?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was at Goals on 2nd Street, the one that Beretta owned, that building. Beretta owned that building.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's when Pete owned it. And I was there. I was with Ron McBeth. Remember Ron McBeth? He was an Ohio bodybuilder.
Okay.
He was one of Pete's good friends.
Okay.
Pete Gromkowski's good friends. So I was there, and I had this little camera. It was like not a box camera, but it was like this cheapo camera. And I was taking pictures. And Joe Weider, you know how he's got that voice? He goes, he says to McGowan, and he says to the guys, "Get that guy out of here. He's stealing my secrets." You know what I mean? It's like, I wasn't stealing your secrets. I was taking a picture.
Right.
This 6'5" guy, and Danny Padilla, who's like about, what is he, 5'2" or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, and that was so funny, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
He told McGowan, he goes, get him out of here. You know what I mean? Get him out of here. No, it was Bill Reynolds.
Bill Reynolds. Okay. Yeah.
Bill Reynolds.
Yeah.
That's who was filming. And he had cameras with lenses this big, you know?
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Right. That contest in 77, was that totally packed? Because I know Ken Sprague promoted that. And I heard it was like a really big,
it was,
big event.
It was really, really nice. It was really well put on.
He had Mae West come up, right? And give Dave Johns a trophy.
What's that again? Oh yeah.
Mae West, yeah.
Yeah, Mae West. I was there. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know how, what's that line she always says? "Let me tell you something," or something like that. Or whatever. She had a little scarf around her neck, and she was putting her arms all over the bodybuilders and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
That was really cool. And I'm trying to think. There was a lot of really good bodybuilders in that year. It was Manuel Perry was in there.
Yeah.
And Tom Cross was in there.
Yeah, Ron Tufel.
I don't know. Was Ron Tufel in there? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I think he won the short class.
Okay, yeah. And then Gromkowski was in there too, I think.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was cool. Very cool.
Larry, how did you do in America in '82 when Rufus Howard won?
How did I do?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I took second to Mike Sable.
Oh, Mike Sable. Okay.
Yeah, I remember.
And then you won the class next year.
Next year, but I remember I was so mad because '82 I was winning everything. I was cruising. I thought just gonna move into that and do the same thing, and then I lost to Mike.
Larry, I really thought you had won that contest. Not the contest, but that class.
Yeah,
you know, I don't know. I mean, and then whoever year was in there, they had no back on them. I shouldn't even say this. Like Jesse Gautreau was in there. You know, I mean, he looked like he needed a chin-up bar. I mean, I hope he doesn't. Is he still living? Hopefully, he doesn't see this. But but he always did really well in those contests.
Yeah, he did. He always did good in the AAU.
Yeah.
Rufus, trying to remember. I think Abe Cuesta might have won the medium class.
Abe Cuesta was in Florida too, right?
Yep. He was in Tampa. Yeah.
Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, I was watching some of that today, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Hey, Larry, did we have anybody other than you in that America that year? Did we have anybody from quads in there? I can't remember.
I think Tim Bell went in it.
Oh, yeah, Tim Bell did go in it. Yeah, he did.
Sure
Tim Bell has moved to Naples.
Oh, really? No kidding.
Yeah, so
right down there.
He's still a good friend of mine, and he was training at my gym for a while, and people don't notice, but he's like a pro-am golfer now.
Is he really? No kidding.
Yeah, he's a very good golfer.
Wow.
And, if you saw him, you wouldn't recognize him as you were recognizing him when he was 275. You know, and
right. Yeah.
Tim Bell is a perfect example. He used to drive over from Joliet, right?
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, he used to go to Turner's gym in Joliet, and then he started coming by us. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I thought Turner's in St. Louis, wasn't it?
Oh, not Turner.
Denny.
Yeah, Dennis
Franz.
Is that his name?
Dennis Franz?
No, not Dennis Franz. Not Franz.
No?
That's where Eddie Coan used to go. Ernie Franz.
Franz.
The other guy. What was the guy's name in Joliet? I can't remember his name.
Oh. Shoot, I'm thinking the guy in Downers Grove.
Well, that's where Tim used to go.
Okay.
And he came by us. You know.
Yeah, but that was just an example of guys traveling. And I think I talked to you about this before, John and Davey. We lived it. It was so cool. On Saturday, that place was Saturday morning, to be specific.
Yeah.
Like everyone was there.
Yeah.
Like, you had to bring your A game because everyone you competed with from the different cities.
Yeah.
It's like, and the intensity.
Okay. We had these in the second gym in Thornton. We had these skylights in the roof, John. The lighting was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Okay. So usually on Saturdays, I'm not sure, but I think Larry could tell you that most people were doing lights. Okay. So those guys would all be dropping their workout pants down, and they're in their underwear, okay, and they're all posing next to each other. It was like the Olympia.
Yeah. Wow.
You had Mike Ondo. Remember Mike Ondo?
Yeah.
No, I don't remember
Mike Ondo.
No.
He was from Indiana, and Brian Krause, and you had John LaRue, and you had all these guys there. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Larry and Tim Smith and all of them. It was just so cool to see Bill Hirschenberger. They were all there.
Yeah.
Gus would come over. John Gus would come over.
John Gus came to our gym for a long while after that. Remember, he left Hammers and he came by us.
Yeah, from Tinley Park.
Yeah.
No, the other thing, Dave, you had the skylights, and we all posed around that one mirror right by the front.
Right? You had the hanging mirror. Yeah.
That was back in the day before these earbuds, and it was so loud in there. You guys had the heavy rock cranked, and that just added the intensity.
Yeah.
You couldn't talk hardly to someone next to you. Just
Right.
And that's the other thing too. When you're asking me if I remembered Patty, I remember when I first started going there, Davey. There was like maybe one woman at that.
Yeah, I was going to say there weren't too many women back then.
No, not a hardcore place like that. It was.
Yeah.
You had to be, super serious and probably have 20 brothers to put up with all the shit.
Right.
The guys that were in there, because you get gawked at if you're, and there's so many dudes and trying to hit on, because there's no girls in the gym like that.
No, not like today. No.
Not meeting anyone. So
that's probably why you're so serious. And nowadays, you come up north to this gym and you got all these bikini pros and these wellness girls.
Oh yeah, that's all it is now, right?
Guys are all looking at the girls going in. It's different. It's a different. When you were in Thornton and Calumet City, you were just focused on your training.
Right. I thought that many times, Dave. I'm like, man, I'm glad these girls weren't around when I was young, because my career wouldn't have been the same,
I remember too, in the second gym, Davey, the one that had the stairs into like a warehouse with the glass doors.
Oh yeah. That was the first one. The one with the wooden walkway was the second gym.
Oh, okay. I got them backwards. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
The first one, I don't think you guys had air conditioning in there.
No, we didn't.
Because I remember going in there in the summer, no ventilation, just like a blanket hanging, I'm like going, holy cow, this is going to be rough. And going through work, I remember passing out and hitting my forehead on that, seriously, that iron bar that you pushed out to do calves and you push it out of the way.
Oh, yeah.
I just passed out and doink, and blood's running down my head.
No way.
You had that older gentleman, like I think it was a doctor. I think his name was Ron. He was watching it for you. He called an ambulance.
Ron Barter.
Yeah, he called an ambulance. I was like, what?
Wow.
I was getting ready for some shows. I was a little, but it was so hot in there. Remember back in the day, dude?
Oh, you know what, Eddie. Eddie. I would still can remember this. Eddie Coan. He would be in there and he's squatting 1,000 pounds, and these guys are saying, "Man, it's so hot in there." Eddie would say, "Shut up." And just lift. He goes and lift. Okay, you can get in your air conditioned car. You can go into your air conditioned house when you're done here.
Yeah,
let's get the work done here now.
Right,
that's what we say. So
we would just go do it. Yeah, we would just go do it. But it was thick, man. It was.
Yeah. I remember like Hammers and USA Gym too. They didn't have air conditioning either. Yeah, that's just the way it was back then.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that today?
No, I couldn't. Yeah.
Who would put up with that?
We had a hurricane out here in Tampa a few years ago, and everybody lost power for like a week. And I was dying in the gym, training without air conditioning. Like, man, it's like the old days.
You probably had it to yourself.
No, everybody was in there, but it was definitely different. You get used to it.
And then when you get more bodies in there, it makes it even hotter.
Right. Yeah.
So I understand totally.
But I was thinking, like, man, we used to do this all the time. This was every day.
Yeah. Times change,
Oh yeah. You mentioned Eddie Coan. Talk a little bit about him, Dave. When did he start coming in your gym?
Eddie used to go to 95th Street Chicago Health Club on 95th Street for a long time.
He was from Evergreen.
Yeah, and he started powerlifting when he was like 13.
Okay.
He came by us when he was in his probably in his later 20s, and he was there for a lot of years.
Oh, okay.
And I tell you what, Eddie went from, people don't know this, but he won't admit this, but I'm going to tell you this, okay? If you ask him how many world records he has, he'll say 75. No. He's got about 125. And the reason why is because he was in the 165s, and he broke those records. Then he went to the 181, he broke all of Mike Bridges' records.
Yeah.
Then he went to the 198, he broke those records. Then he went to the 220s and broke those records. And then he went to the 242s and broke all those records. Now, the following year, he'd break his own records because he would do more than he did the previous year.
Unbelievable, man.
He pulled 901 off the floor at 217 body weight.
Jeez, unbelievable.
And I seen him do bent over rows with 405. I see him do behind neck presses with 405. And I'm not talking about one rep.
Yeah.
I'm talking about reps. I mean, he is definitely 100% a legend. And he's one really, he's like a Larry. Him and Larry are good guys. And I like Eddie a lot. And Eddie's more popular now than when he was competing because he's doing stuff with Stan Efferding. He's doing podcasts. He's got his own powerlifting contest now. And the Omaha Barbell has an Eddie Coan Classic. He was, I think, about a month and a half ago. He was in Utica doing Utica, New York. He's in Norway. He's everywhere. I mean, and he's, like Tommy said when he was doing the DVDs and VHSs, and in the old days, we had one on the art of squatting, one on the art of benching, and one on the art of deadlifting. Yeah. And Tommy started out the thing and said that he's the darling of powerlifting, and he's like the Michael Jordan of powerlifting. Yeah. Because how good he is. Yeah. And if you hang around with him, you lift with him, and you're not strong, I can name guys like Paulie Rodriguez and different guys that he took underneath his wing, and he just made those guys strong. I don't mean drugs. I'm just talking about his technique. Right. The way he carried the bar on his back, the way his foot placement, the way he did percentages, the way he was devout with everything he did. Yeah. Never miss, and always was there every day. His assistance exercises, just everything about him. He is what he is. He's the best. Yeah.
Why do you think he was the best? Do you think, how much was it genetics? How much was it hard work? And how much was it like his knowledge, like you said, all the things he was doing?
I honestly believe his drive. His
drive.
His drive. I mean, I called him one day and I said, "Hey Ed, I'm going to take you to, let's go to the Sox game with me." He goes, "I can't go. I got to lift tomorrow." Yeah. So he would never interrupt what he was doing. He was very like a creature of habit. So everything he did precisely, and that's why he was as good as he was. Yeah. No one can say they won 15 world championships and 15 USPF senior national championships. Yeah. I mean, that's incredible.
125 world records. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, he won't, but he won't say that.
He won't say
that. He'll hear this podcast. You know what he'll say? You told him 120. That's untrue. Well, do the numbers. Yeah. I mean, he's got a lot. You know, and everybody will come up to me and say, "Well, this guy's better than Eddie." And I said, "No, no, sorry. Yeah. You're barking up the wrong tree because those guys were good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. They're not as good as Eddie was, for as long as he was."
It's great that he's recognized now by the powerlifting community as a legend. You know what I mean? All these years later.
And he just got into Hall of Fame with what's his name, Goldman. So he's in the Hall of Fame thing, which he deserves. I mean, it's like like I said, he's also very helpful to the young lifters. He's never. People when he'll be coming over probably in fall again because his time with all these different things that he does is going to slow down and he'll come back. And he works out at Lance's gym by Sox Park because it's closer to his house now.
Okay.
He, you know, he comes in and people, guys or girls, say, "Is that Ed Coan back there?" And I go, "Yeah." "You think he would take a picture with me, or you think he can help me with my deadlift?" I go, "Don't be scared of him." "Yeah, he will."
Yeah.
So I walk the people back there and I go, "This is so and so. You know, this is whatever the girl's name is, or this is
Yeah.
this." And then he go "Will you take a picture of me?" He goes, "Sure, absolutely." Takes a picture with him, you know.
Mhm.
And Eddie is a jokester too. He's another Tommy, you know.
Yeah.
He'll say to me like, "Can you get any fatter?" And I said, "Can you get any taller?" You know,
Stay away from that one.
he messes with me, you know what I mean? But we mess with
Yeah.
each other. I mean, that's
Right.
what it is.
Right.
Yeah, him and I actually send jokes almost every other day on on Messenger or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Yeah, trying to top each other. But
Yeah.
Davey, I'm a little hurt. I never got invited to a Sox game, man. What the heck?
Larry, you live in Arizona now.
Minor detail.
I never got invited to the Coyotes game.
Come out here. We'll go to a spring training. I've been trying to get Davey out here to go to Sox spring training for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talk about a workhorse. That's another reason Quads is so.
No, to be honest with you,
Come out.
it's about time I'm about to leave this gym business. I'm getting
40 years.
I'm getting tired. I mean, it's a lot of work, man. A lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't realize it's just
It's all day. It's every day, right?
It's every day. It's a grind, and it's
Yeah.
you know, you're dealing with personalities. You're dealing with
Yeah.
you're dealing with a lot of people that don't think when you tell them to put their weights away. Or
Yeah.
I was on the phone with you remember Bob Bonham, right? He passed away.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's a friend of mine too. So he called me one day and we were talking on the phone, and he was that strong and shapely, and
Mhm.
and all of a sudden, this guy walks up to his counter, and I could hear him talking. He goes, "Hey, Bob, turn the music on." And he goes, "Hey, listen, dude, put your weights away, and I'll turn the music back on." Then he goes back to me. He goes, "I'm sure you have the same problem that I have." I go, "Absolutely." I
Yeah.
said, "There's signs everywhere. Don't slam weights. Put your weights away."
Yeah.
And they still do it, you know. So
Dave, how are you dealing with these people now? Because it's so different. Before we used to just play the stereo. Now everybody's got their headphones on. They're all taking pictures. At the gym I go to, which is a powerhouse, so it's pretty hardcore. I can't believe how many people are coming in with tripods and cameras. It's like that's part of their gym equipment now. It's like you bring your gym bag, you bring your tripod and your camera, you know?
Well, you know what? There's two really actually memos that I got from West Bend Mutual Insurance, and a lot of them. The two memos were the gym bags need to go away because they're tripping hazards.
Okay.
And, you know, like a lot of times these powerlifters or bodybuilders come in, and you know they got shoes and belts and supplements and you know, all kinds of stuff in there. They're big as like a goalie hockey bag, you know.
Yeah,
And
right.
the second thing was you know, the picture taking, because you know all of a sudden it could land up on Instagram, and some girl said I didn't give any consent to be on Instagram, and then they come after me, you know. So, it is a problem, and you know, I mean, it's like everybody, that's all they want to do is take pictures of themselves all the time.
I know.
Like, you know, how about this training and this?
Just work out. Yeah.
I don't get it, man.
I don't know how they can work out because they're constantly filming themselves. You know, I mean, I don't know how can you get into the mood of the workout and really get into it when you're constantly having to stop the film, you know, and set things up and everything. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's really disheartening, to be honest with you. I get, and that's another reason is to deal with those people too. You know, I have signs all over the place, you know, like not only the put your weights away, don't slamming weights, but just, you know, like they take their protein shake and they put it down the drinking fountain, and a drinking fountain has got a drain about as big as a right. Well, it gets clogged up because it's milky substance, right?
Yeah.
Well, then I got to have the plumbing guy come out and fix it. Here, it's $500 to fix the drinking fountain. So there's another sign that goes up there. Don't put your drinking fountain, don't put your protein down and shakes down the drinking fountain. It's got a drain. Throw them down the toilet.
Yeah.
Last week, some guy went into the bathroom and he must have taken his protein shake or open. And you know those little spring balls, you know, that you have in the shaker? He threw it down and it got clogged in the toilet. I had to have the plumber come out, and it cost like $300 to rod a drain. It was one of those balls.
Yeah.
Those metal balls.
Oh man. Jeez.
So I mean, it's like, you're dealing with, I shouldn't call them illiterates, but it's crazy people, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Seeing the way
I would say more like common sense. They don't need common sense.
Right.
just like you were saying, John, the way it was way back when. You just went in, you trained hard, you got results.
Yeah.
You don't have to be there 3 hours like these guys are doing camera setups and all that BS.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Here you have to talk about that stuff, Davey. Talk about taking some wind out of the sail. Maybe, geez, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you know, between dealing with those people, like John said, and dealing with city inspectors, and there's just you know, I mean, it's, and then being there every day, you know, and you're listening to people complain about different things. And I don't know, I mean, it's like,
I give you credit, man. I don't think I can do it. It's gotta be done.
That's what was cool about Davey.
you know what,
everyone who came in there, you guys talked to them like they're your brother, your kid, though. You treated everyone the best. I mean, that's why that's loaded like it did.
Well, as long as I'm going to be in the business, I'm going to always be that way towards people. I want to be genuine. I want to be able to have people come there every day and have great workouts.
Yeah.
That's my motive. And that's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Do I always hit the mark every day? Not really, but I try.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
how many old members still call you 40 years later, dude?
Oh yeah, I get calls from Andy Jelenuski all the time. I get calls from everybody. Keith Vanderlee, everybody. They all call, you know.
Yeah.
So, but you know, like getting every year I would go see Bill Pearl at the Club Industry Show.
Yeah.
And he was there for Life Fitness, and I would always give him a T-shirt because I always liked Bill a lot, you know.
Oh, he's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And he always say, Dave, I was in Pasadena, California for 20, and I don't know how you do it this long.
Yeah.
He goes, I give you a lot of credit, he said.
Yeah.
Yeah. He always invited me to Oregon to stay at his house with him and his wife. But
that's nice.
Took him up on it, you know.
Yeah.
He collects all these old cars, you know.
Oh, does he? Okay.
Yeah, you know, like with the swing windshields and the.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, those real old time cars, like real old, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, Bill will be 92 this year. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I love that guy. I sat with him and Artie Zeller at the Olympia when Franco won, and he showed.
Oh yeah. And I was there too.
Yeah, we sat on the main floor, the three of us, and.
What did they say? What did Bill Pearl?
Oh, we were walking out from the main floor. You know how the floor went up on an angle?
Yeah.
And then they said this can't go on in the IFBB. That's what they said.
Right.
That's their exact words.
Yeah.
You know,
because Bill was he watched the 82 in Australia that Arnold won.
Yeah.
The year before.
And you know, then I went outside, and I think it was Rick Wayne at the time. It wasn't Tom Dieters. Tom Dieters came to our gym for a while.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah, he was from Chicago.
Yeah. He was in Lombard Chiropractic School, and then he came when he.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I think it was Rick Wayne. So we went outside of veterans, and they're all hovered around taking quotes, and I'm on the outside. There's like 200 people, and I'm yelling in the background, "Tell the truth." I go, "You guys got ripped off." I yelled out, I was yelling, right?
Yeah.
And everybody was yelling. It wasn't just me.
Right.
You know, it's like, I don't know. You remember, John, were you on the main floor or were you in the balcony?
Yeah, I was on the main floor, yeah.
Yeah, were you getting hit with quarters, dimes, and nickels and pennies?
I saw people doing that. They were reaching in their pocket and throwing shit at the
Yeah, I got hit in the back of my head.
Did you really?
Yeah, and I was covering my eyes up. I didn't want to get hit in the eyes.
Yeah.
You know? First of all, he's up there with the top 10, and then they whittled it down to the top 6, and he's still up there, and I'm going, this can't go. How? He had no legs. I'm going like, he kept doing 3/4 back shots and front lat spreads and rear double biceps. His back looked good. His chest looked good. His shoulders, like they always look good.
Yeah.
But his legs were lacking. And here's Tom Platz and Roy Callender and Padilla that were in great shape.
Yeah.
They got ripped off, man.
Totally. Have you ever seen an audience reaction like that? I mean, to this day, it was unbelievable.
The whole place booed.
The whole place. It was insane.
Yeah. It was unbelievable.
It started when Danny got 5th, and it just kept rising. You know, it just kept getting louder and louder. You know, it was unbelievable.
It was absolutely horrible.
Yeah. I've never seen a show like that. I never will again. You know, it was just unbelievable.
Well, you know, another thing is I honestly believe, and you probably, I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, but I think that Mike Mentzer should have beat Arnold too that year. I don't know.
In 80, yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, he looked phenomenal, and I really think that had some effects on Mike Mentzer's, you know, him going forward in his life.
Yeah, he never competed.
You know,
again.
and you know, and him and his brother both passed away. But I'm saying it's sad because you know I think that he was in really good shape.
Yeah, yeah,
And I heard that there was almost a fist fight, and
yeah, between him and Arnold. Yeah,
yeah, and then what's his name? I think Balick broke it up or something, or
Bill Pearl, I think did. Bill Pearl broke it.
yeah, did he? Was it Bill Pearl?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, unbelievable.
What did Bill say after 81? He just said he can't go on like this anymore.
Well, he just said the IFBB has got to do something about this.
Yeah,
Well, like you know that you know they should you know pick the clear-cut winner, but you know let's face the facts. Not always. I don't care if it's a low-level contest or you know like or the Olympia or the Arnold Schwarzenegger. Not always the best man wins.
right, right. Yeah,
Sometimes it happens, but sometimes it doesn't happen.
yeah, yeah.
So, you know, I'm all about fairness. You know?
Absolutely. Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so.
Well, let's go by your list there, Dave.
Okay. Yeah, I got to put my cheaters on, John. because
Sure.
I
Yeah,
can't see.
we all do.
Okay. Now,
I'm
here's
not-
just
mine
the
don't
list.
come
I didn't
off.
put them. I didn't put them in any order, but I'll name.
Yeah, we'll
them.
just read them and comment.
I was on top. I thought that was the perfect order.
Okay. Here's the list right here. See.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Larry Bernstein's number one. I didn't put him in any order. Tim Bell, Tim Smith, Brian Smith, John LaRue, Mark Banner, Shannon Monroe, Pete Katsigaris, Mikey Winters, who was a pro, Mike Ondo, Brian Krause, Bill Hirschenberger, Keith Vanderleek, Dave Ignacy, Glenn Kinnear, Anthony Watkins, Herc,
Yeah.
Pete Miller. He came to the Northside Gym for like 3 years. Joe Schroeder,
Yeah.
Joe Cole. Remember Joe Cole?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Okay.
competed against them. Yeah.
Yeah, Mose Carter. Remember Mose Carter?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Mike Malone, who was a Chicago police officer. He had a really good, real quiet guy, African American guy, really good. Jimmy Chan, Chuck Durr. You remember Zuhair? Zoo?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Frankie Fontanez, Cynthia Barker, who won the Miss America. You remember Jeff Sorensen?
Yes. Yeah.
Jeff Sorensen.
He trained at USA for a while.
Yep. Let's see. Sergio Oliva Jr. came to my gym for about 4 years, and then he moved to
Really?
California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's in Dubai now. So
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
John Gust, and then I had Ron Bava on there. Do you remember Ron Bava?
Oh, I remember Bava. He won the Illinois in like
Yeah.
early 80s, late 70s.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah. He was from
And
Chicago
then,
Heights, I think.
And then I had some powerlifters and strongmen. I had Eddie Coan, Mark Philippi, who worked out with Eddie for about 8 years at our gym. Brian Schoonfeld.
Yeah. I remember him.
Really strong kid. John Binkowski and Andy Jelenuski. That's just to name a few of all of them.
Okay.
But that's some of the people on the list, and I'm sure I forgot a lot of them, John. But,
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, I can't remember them all. So
Yeah. Yeah. I was, we did an interview with Glenn, me and Larry did. And so,
I watched that. It was awesome.
yeah, he was a great bodybuilder during that time.
I loved him. Yeah, he was a good guy too.
Yeah.
That
And
was
Joe Schroeder was his buddy, and a lot of people forgot about him. Joe won the first teenage show I ever went in. So I think Joe was 19, I was 16. But man, he had a lot of potential, right? So much thickness.
I got to tell you, somebody that just came in the gym to visit me, George Mendez.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, he lives
Wow.
in the area.
How old is George now?
George has got to be probably 60 something, probably. I
Yeah.
guess.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy.
He was a big name when I just started. Yeah.
Yeah, George Mendez. He
Wow.
comes in sometimes on Saturdays to visit me.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, he's super good dude. So
Did Sergio ever come in there? Sergio Senior?
you know what? Used to see Sergio in church, and then so he always at the end of the service he would always come down the aisle, and then we would talk. You know.
Yeah.
At the time, Hannah and Katie were very young, my daughters, and he would always hold it, my daughters.
Yeah.
Okay. And I said to my daughters, they didn't know this, but I said, this guy beat Arnold Schwarzenegger. And he looks at me and he goes, who cares? He goes, these kids are more important than that. You know?
Yeah,
So So we made an agreement that he had a new book coming out. And so I was going to have him at the gym and have a book signing. And I said, any money that you make, it's all goes to you. It would be an honor for you to be there.
Yeah.
Because he used to hand trophies out at our contests.
Yeah.
You know? And I would always sit him in the front row with him and Arlene at the time.
Yeah.
So one day he came over at night and he brought me an easel and he brought me a thing about the book. You know, they could set on the easel. But we didn't really set a time on what day it was going to be. I told him that Mondays would be a good day because that's probably the most busiest time.
Yeah.
And so he kind of got mad at me because I didn't do it. And so he came one night when I wasn't there. He took the easel and the thing back. He still was nice to me, but he was a little standoffish because I dropped the ball. Me, not him, me.
Yeah.
And I kicked myself now.
Yeah.
I went to his wake on a Friday night, and it was at the Bar Funeral Home. And I went there, and and I don't know. When I went there, I even felt worse. You know what I mean? Because I could have gave him some joy to be there.
Yeah.
And I don't know what he was charging for the book, but just to get a book and an autograph from him.
Yeah.
The myth. You know what I mean? And so.
Yeah.
And I was there when he made the comeback in New York.
Oh, you were? Okay.
Yeah, when he held little Sergio up on stage.
Yeah,
I was there. It was at the
What was that?
the Feld Forum. The Feld Forum.
Yeah.
So we stayed where all the bodybuilders stayed at the Dorel Inn.
Okay.
And then, he wore yellow posing trunks. You remember?
Yeah.
I was there that year, and he was. I liked him. He was always nice to me.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. People who don't know Sergio, I mean, he was such a legend in Chicago. Whenever he came to contests or whatever, I mean, the crowd just treated him like he was the king because he was the king. He was unbelievable.
Oh yeah. He was quite a nice guy.
The
I
show
would
would come to a stop, wouldn't it?
There's what's that, Larry? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
The shows would almost come to a stop. If you're posing, I felt sorry who was in the middle.
Yeah.
Because no one even watched you anymore because of Sergio, right?
Were you in the Central USA in 1980, Larry? I think, weren't you in the junior division or something?
Yeah.
I was in the teenage that year, and he came in that year, and I remember that one where the whole audience turned around when Sergio walked in. And I think he walked all the way up to the front of the stage, and he went backstage. And like you said, that poor guy that was up there posing, nobody even looked at him because, everybody was looking at Sergio.
Oh, exact. It's funny. You talk about I was just bringing this back up because you mentioned Schroeder and a teenage thing.
Yeah.
I was waiting. I forgot. So Dave, you remember this shirt, buddy?
Teenage Illinois.
Oh, that's you on there, Larry.
That's right.
Wow.
That is you.
They put that show on, and I kept one shirt because they put these out the year after, and I got the guest pose and hand out a trophy or something. But I was like, it bums me out because it's so big on me now.
It's in good shape though.
But you got to save one and not wear it.
Right.
Larry, you know what I say to Eddie, and I'll say the same thing to you, or even John. You guys don't have to prove to nothing to nobody.
Yeah.
Because you guys did it. So guess what? Nobody can can take those titles away.
Yeah, that's fair.
So who cares? I don't care if that shirt is baggy on you. I can care less.
Yeah, what blows me away, Davey, you see John still looking incredible at 50. What now, John?
59.
59. He's still he's posting all these shots. I'm unbelievable, dude.
Matter of fact, there's a picture of John. Right at the top of the stairs is a picture of John on the walls.
All right. Awesome. Yeah.
I should take a picture of that and send it to you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think you're doing a single bicep. I think is what you're doing.
Yeah, I remember that picture.
You sent it to me.
Yeah. So
I don't take pictures down, John. I leave them up.
Yeah, that's great.
I don't even care if I had a falling out with somebody. I still leave them on the wall.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Those people made that gym what it is.
That's right.
A lot of fantastic. I'm blessed.
So how many years has it been now, Dave? So you own the one in Thornton for 12 years. That was from 76 to 88, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you had the one in Calumet City?
Well, we were in the basement, so I don't know if you could count that, but I'm saying we were in the basements in the beginning of the, like 73, 74.
Okay, okay.
So in actually a storefront it was 76 till now.
Okay. Now, how long did the Calumet City one stay open?
Quite a long time. It was there a long time.
Okay.
Well, you figure, let's see, 88, we moved there, and then Tommy died in 2003. So that was like, what, 15? What is that, 18? What is that? 88 to 2003?
98,
15 years?
15 years, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were there a long time.
And the one downtown?
Died, we would have kept it open,
Yes. And the one downtown has been open how long?
Since 1988.
Since 88, wow, okay.
Yeah. So.
But the good part, like you're talking about all these people making that gym and being there, but it's because of, the atmosphere. You helped make them what they were. I think a lot of the gains that were made and strength that came upon because of the atmosphere of that place. You couldn't go anywhere and get workouts like that or have someone saying, "Don't quit, dude." Who does that? Who do that? Like, oh, you'll be better. But he meant, from the heart. And that's what made the quads.
Well, that's why I wanted to have you guys on, because those old school gyms, back in the day, I mean, we did have that kind of atmosphere. And I remember like Hammer's gym, when a guy would go into a contest, and you guys, I'm sure you did the same thing, Dave. When someone was, a couple guys from your gym were going in like the Mr. Illinois or the Midwest or whatever, the whole gym would come out there, right? You'd get like 20 people. Yeah. And we would do the same thing at Hammer's. I mean, that doesn't exist anymore at all. But I mean, we would get, if like me and 5 other guys were in a show, there'd be 20 or 30 people from the gym there, and we'd all go out for pizza afterwards. I mean, that was just such a great atmosphere and so much support,
Those were such good old days.
Yeah.
Dave, you remember Henry Villalobos? Remember Henry?
I remember that name, yeah.
Oh, I forgot to say Henry. Henry should be on this list because he came to my gym for many years. Henry Villalobos.
I remember him coming to my first show and saying, "Don't make me pull out my pistolas. Give him the trophy."
Yeah, well, Larry.
Oh, he was a hoot.
You deserved all those titles and
too nice,
trophies. Larry's mom had a room in the house. It was a spare bedroom. That was Larry's trophy room.
Wow, nice.
It was packed.
I'm sure you got the same thing, John.
With trophies and ribbons and plaques and just everything.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable,
Yeah.
I want to tell you one more story, Larry, and I don't want you to cry, Larry. So Larry's dad used to always come over and visit us because he was in Glenwood, Illinois. The water wasn't very good, so his mom, when she cooked, she needed water. So Ray would come over and we'd fill these big jugs of water.
So funny. I know where this is going.
So he'd always come and visit me on Saturdays. So he'd come down and I'd fill him up. So one day Larry was in the universe. I don't know where he was. It could have been, I don't know where he was. You could have been in Holland. I don't know where you were.
London.
That particular year.
Yeah.
So Ray said, "Hey, Dave, can I talk to you in the back?" And I said, "Sure." So I go in the back, we fill the water up, then we go in the back. He goes, "Larry doesn't know about this, but I've got terminal cancer."
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, "But Larry don't know it."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Because I didn't want Larry to worry about it. I was want him worried about his training." And he kind of like hugged me and he like wouldn't let go of me. And I didn't care. So I held him for about a couple of minutes, because I knew that where that was coming, it was a heartfelt moment.
Yeah.
Okay. And he hugged me. And so it was a Kodak moment.
Yeah.
So
I hope you charged my dad for that water, Davey.
What are you kidding? He had to make meals. Your mom had to make meals.
I know, buddy. No.
We used to go to Larry's house and have barbecues. It was awesome.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun in those days, Larry. You know that.
Yep. Oh yeah.
That's how our parents were from that generation, right? All they thought about was the kids.
Yeah. My mom was like that too. She, you could come over to my house, John, we're going to go out, all of us. and she would say, "Hey, John, your collar's a little bit wrinkled. Take it off, and I'll iron it real quick for you."
Yeah. Right.
Are
Yeah.
you guys hungry? I'll make you something to eat before you go out.
Yeah.
That's just, my mom and dad were married for 65 years. I mean,
Yeah.
the only reason why they didn't go longer is they died.
Yeah.
I mean, but I have great sisters. I got great kids, and I had a good business partner. So, and I had good friends like Larry. So, my life's pretty complete, as far as that's concerned.
Yeah. You've been in the business a long time, Dave. So
so
thanks to you, a lot of people, had great careers and, great memories,
I mean, it's like I said, those people were so dear to me, and they were all like extended family, I didn't have any brothers. I had two sisters. So a lot of those guys were like my brothers.
Right.
So,
Exactly. Right.
it is what it is. I mean, it's like, things go away, they think there's good times. And then all of a sudden I don't get to see all these people anymore. I haven't seen Larry in a while. I haven't seen you in a while.
I haven't seen you in a long time.
A lot of people, you know what I mean? Do I miss them? Oh, I sure do miss them. You know what I mean? But I mean, they're busy with their own lives. They got kids, they got jobs, they're still lifting, a lot of them, but they're just busy, and they live in South Side or Indiana or whatever, So.
When I think about those days in bodybuilding, I mean, all of us that were in it, we put so much effort into it. We worked so hard for it. And I think back now, I'm like, God, how could I train so hard for those? We didn't get anything out of it. I mean, we wouldn't make any money, we were losing money really, to put all that into it. But those memories now will never fade. All those memories of the workouts, the competitions, the camaraderie we had with the people that we were with, and I'm sure everybody feels the same. I mean, that stuff will last forever, So it's really absolutely worth it,
Well, for sure. And you're still going, you're still doing good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So
that's funny.
By the way, if you get some more pictures, send them my way.
I will. I will. For sure.
Give me some with some of the trophies behind this time.
Okay. All right. What were you gonna say, Larry?
Oh no, it's funny. You're talking about the memories. Thank God, because those trophies just fall apart.
No, I know. Right.
Like, I kept two. I think I hate to say it. I have like two trophies here in Arizona.
Yeah.
One is I think it was the Mr. Illinois, because it was a really cool looking statue. And the other was, remember that bronze one where he's doing like the 3/4 shot?
Yeah.
Really cool. And I just kept that one because I liked it. And all the other ones, they all fall apart, or, the shipment from Illinois to Arizona. Like just in the garage.
I got a lot of those trophies in the
I sent those
room.
to you. That's
right. I got a lot of them.
Yeah.
They're in the back room, I think, somewhere. I'm not sure. I got so much junk in that place. And I don't mean trophies are junk, but I'm saying,
right.
Got to put it there, but.
I know we had the body part awards back then too, so that added to the collection, right?
Best arms or the best legs,
Yeah, Larry won a lot of those.
People used to ask why. People would ask why you do it, and now at this stage in my life, it's like all that work and we were chasing a trophy. You know what I mean? It's just sad, but it's, obviously it's way more than that.
Yeah, but Larry, if you think about it, just think about all the countries that you visited. And all the
never would have happened.
All the people that you meet.
But I just, like you're saying, being blessed, because I end up, like any of those shows could have gone either way, and I could have been the dude not going overseas just because
that's right.
I didn't get to vote. So I'm like, knocking on wood. It's like, because that's a lot of work not to get the reward, man. Woo.
Yeah.
How many parents sit at home thinking you're putting all this? Matter of fact, one of my shows when I was a teenager, my uncle asked me, "Hey, can you make money doing this?"
Yeah, I remember you said that. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, Uncle Mike.
One of your Jewish uncles.
Exactly.
Yeah, but Larry, to be honest with you, if you think about it, those memories, and how many? Honestly, I don't even know this. You could tell me. How many countries did you go to?
Like 16, 17, something like that.
There you go.
Wow.
I know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
To me, at the end, like you were saying about, all the stuff these guys started doing, I didn't want to go there. It was beyond what I really wanted to do. And I just kept doing it because I just wanted to keep seeing more of the world. I could place in the top 3 and make some guest posing money or seminars and see a new country and meet new people.
Yeah.
That's what kind of kept it alive. And everyone's so nice everywhere. You've been there.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool that you were actually like involved with the AAU and the NABA, right? Because that's what allowed you to do all those. Like that was like Jeff King too, right? That's how he was doing all those traveling and stuff. Yeah,
big time
for so many years too. Yeah,
they just wrote it out until
yeah.
I'm still single. I don't have my own house. Okay,
yeah. Right.
I'm getting a little older, but no, but like if you hadn't done your gym, Davey, who knows? All I had was a powerlifting gym. Not there's anything wrong with powerlifting. Eddie crushed it, but
you never had that
place.
Right.
The seed grew, and
Larry, you probably would have been a great powerlifter because you're low to the ground. You probably would do good at that.
No, this is about quads. This is thanks to you what happened.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, hey, I want to thank you guys for joining me on the show. It was great reminiscing about some of the old days of bodybuilding. And I love doing shows like this because this is the reason why we got into bodybuilding in the first place. So it was great. Plus, it was great seeing you guys again, too. Dave, I haven't seen you in forever. And Larry, it's always good seeing you, too.
Thanks, John.
Hey, John, thanks so much for having me. And Larry, I miss you, buddy. I miss both you guys.
Ditto.
All right. Okay, guys. Well, thanks for being on the show. And hopefully we'll get together again soon. We won't make it so long this time,
Send me some pictures, John.
I will, for sure, buddy. I will.
Okay, my
Thanks,
friend.
John.
Okay, guys. Take care.
See you.
Bye, Dave. Love you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you too, buddy. Bye.